wait.
Welcome to another episode of It's All Love Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5. We got some good in store for y'all, man. Y'all know I'm Butter, man, your host with the most, man. We got my man TKO, the man, the myth, Mr. Off the Top. Man, off the top of time.
Yeah, y'all already know, man. What's going on with y'all? Another lit show. It's Timo. Y'all can follow me at off the top underscore media. I'm gonna keep, letting y'all know about the show, man. Giving y'all updates. Giving y'all content, topics to think about. Just keep throwing shit out there for y'all. And you already know, man. We got my co-host right down there at the bottom.
Noah.
What's going on, everybody? It's Noble Noah. Follow me on IG at Noble_Noah. We got a very, very lit Saturday night show for y'all. Highly anticipated. I want to introduce our guest of the evening, AJ Badass Jones, the host of Boom Boom Chronicles podcast. Go ahead. If you can, AJ, let our followers know where they can find you, when your next episode, everything, all your information that you want to give our guests.
Okay. So hey everybody, I'm AJ Badass Jones. You can follow me on Instagram at the Pum Pum Chronicles Pod, or you can follow my personal page, which is badass_Jones_. I drop a new episode every Friday. Sex, love, relationships, smutty stuff, romantic, lovey-dovey stuff. If you want to get in contact with me, you can email me at thepumpumchronicles@gmail.com, or you can hit my call-in line, which is 320-270-1086. And of course, the podcast can be found anywhere that you can listen to a podcast.
Hey, Timo.
Right.
Timo, can you show the people what you're drinking on, Timo?
Okay. I'm over here.
Yeah, we keep listening, man. What's the champagne tonight? What you got tonight, Timo?
I'm about to sip on some Black Girl Magic.
Oh,
that red
that
blend.
comes in a bottle?
Okay.
Red, yeah.
Very nice.
You already know. I felt like this would be a good choice for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, good choice. You gotta let us know.
Don't break it.
Over here about to fuck it up already.
Hey, he always do though, y'all. That's why he was trying to say, hold up, let me open my bottle first.
Hey, now we have seen Timo go through some stuff with some
we had.
live
with the podcast.
No. That was when my corkscrew. I got another one. That was when my corkscrew broke.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AJ, like I said, we appreciate you blessing us with your presence on our podcast. We glad that you wanted to spend the Saturday night with us.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. I'm going dancing after this, so
that's perfect. That's perfect.
Get the vibe going ahead of time.
That's beautiful. I'm going to watch the fight after this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. This fight night tonight.
Wilder fight tonight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah, that is right. So that's what I said. We gonna get this done and then let everybody handle the business that they need to handle tonight.
Okay.
So we gonna go ahead and get this show started, people. First I want to like I said, I start every podcast off when we bring on a new guest, to get to kind of familiarize ourselves with the guests a little bit more. The first thing I ask her, like I said, I'm big on zodiac signs, compatibility, and stuff like that. So the first thing I want to ask you is, What is your sign? Rep your sign for our
Scorpio. Scorpio, and now that's why I do what I do. We are the sign of the sexes. We are the rulers of the genitals and all the good loving and things. So I'm a Scorpio, definitely.
I don't know why I sense that. I don't know why I sense that in my spirit that you was a Scorpio, because I got Scorpio vibe, but I wasn't sure.
You're absolutely right. You picked up on it. You got that sixth sense, definitely.
Yeah. Like I said, me and T Moore, we're both Cancers, and I always tell him all the time. I said, Cancer and Scorpio, they get along real well. They get along.
We're here.
I was about to say, so I know you got to mess with us.
Yeah. But so now that we got the signs out the way, and like I said, we familiarize ourselves a little more with the guests. We want to know, like I said, the name of your podcast is the Boom Boom Chronicles Pod.
Yes.
And so we want to know, first off, before we get into it, like how did it come to you starting your podcast? As in, the content that you're speaking about, how did you get to this point to start doing a podcast about it, and really discussing your journey in life on your podcast?
Okay. So about 3 years ago, about three and a half years ago, there was another podcast. Somebody that I was acquainted with had asked me to be a guest on his podcast. He wanted to do a relationship segment, and he said that he preferred to answer the questions with like a female co-host and just kind of like bounce the questions and the responses off. So he liked my voice. He asked me if I would do the episode with him. I did, and it ended up being his highest downloaded episode up to that point, and he had been podcasting for about a year up until then. And so then he asked whether or not I would consider coming back, like maybe once a month, to do the same sort of thing with him, and I agreed to it. At this point, I had no knowledge of podcasting. I wasn't part of the podcasting world. Like, this was completely new to me. And then things went really well with the second time we did it, and so we decided to create a podcast of our own. You know, due to creative differences and a bunch of other bullshit, that podcast ended. I left the podcast in 2019, and I kind of sat with it for a month as to whether or not I wanted to go forward myself, just kind of solo, with the angst and the fear and thinking, okay, well, what if nobody listens to me? But I had a lot of really great feedback and a lot of positive support. And one day I was at a girlfriend of mine, like after the last event that we had, and honestly, it was like an epiphany. The name just came to me of what the podcast should be, because it ties in, you know, like my femininity, my womanhood, my Jamaicanness, you know, a little bit of ranty things and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that really, it's a basic birthing of the Pum Pum Chronicles, but that's the way that it happens. And yeah, it's been 2 years now, and it's just been an amazing journey, and it's been really great. And a lot of people have been very supportive. I had a lot of people just in my corner, just, you know, continuing to encourage me. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's good. Like I said, you said you've been in it for what you said. You said two years now.
Oh, it's about 3 years in total. About 3.5 years in total.
Okay, 3.5 years. Like
that's what's up.
That's good that you decided to tell your story in the podcast community. The podcast community is a great community to be in. Like I said, we joined in the podcast community. There's a lot of support and love and everything like that. So like I said, just you to tell your story and to share your story with everybody else, it is good. You know, it might help somebody, or like I said, it's just a good communication starter. And that's what we learn in the podcast community. Just have the conversation can help a whole lot of things.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, definitely, you know, being able to converse with, like, you know, just multiple people about different things, getting really different perspectives, you know, really just seeing the differences, you know, different people in different, you know, parts of the states. By the way, what area are you in?
Oh, I'm in a whole other country. I'm in Canada.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Canada,
yeah.
Let's go.
So I spent a lot of, like, prior to the pandemic, I spent a lot of time in the States. Like, I was there monthly, but then of course, you know, like the borders closed and they made it more difficult to travel. But yeah, I've always been in Canada. And one of the things that you said is really amazing. It's like, it's kind of cool to when you like look at your analytics to see where in the world people are listening to you. Like, it's just totally mind blowing that you could have somebody, you know, like on the continent of Africa or somebody in South America that like picks up and listens to your podcast. So that kind of stuff always trips me out still, that, you know, people from all over listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to what I have to say.
How long have you been living in Canada?
How long have I lived here?
Yes.
Oh, you know, a few decades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I came here. So I was born in Jamaica, and I lived there until I was about 6 or 7 years old, and then we migrated here, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Well, yeah.
You all are in the States? Where do you all live in the same state?
Oh no, we don't.
Okay.
More and Butter can, you know, tell you where they're from.
Yeah, we from DC.
Yeah, we in
DC.
Washington DC. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in the North Carolina area, close to Charlotte.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, it's good to really, you know, get the. I always love giving background information on a podcaster that we have on the show to really give the fans the origin story of where this person is coming from and where the views may come from. And so what's going on, Pillow Talk? The first
What's going
thing
on?
that I want to talk about, the first topic that we have on today's show is, like I said, every podcaster that we bring on as a guest on our show, I always personally, when I'm doing research for show, I always go through all the content that they have available to really get a feel of the person that we're bringing on the show. And so as I'm going through your content, like I said, I see you have all your information, your podcast and different stuff like that. But I also notice an extra thing in your links in your bio that not a lot of podcasters have. And I personally been waiting to talk about this topic on our show. And so this is a good topic to have. And so the link that I saw that you have in your bio is that you personally have a OnlyFans.
Yes, I do.
And the question that we have, because my co-host Timo, he posted a video early in the week about an actress, Camilla Winbush. She was an actress known as Vanessa on the Bernie Mac show.
Yes.
And it's been a lot of for a while now. It's been a lot of pictures being leaked out about her, and the pictures have stemmed from her OnlyFans that people have been showing out. And so she's getting a lot of backlash about having an OnlyFans. People saying she's broke, or she need to find a real job, or they poking fun at her, saying Bernie Mac turn over the grave. Just a lot of harsh responses to her.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
To her having an OnlyFans. And so my first question to you is, why are women getting so much backlash for having an OnlyFans?
I want to say that it's people's ignorance, but that would just be too simple to say. But I do think part of it is people's ignorance. There are not just women that are on OnlyFans, there are also men on OnlyFans. There are couples that are on OnlyFans. It's not something that is exclusive to just women, but I think it's kind of just a societal thing. And because we live in more of a patriarchal society, anything that women do that is over-sexualized is always going to be seen as a bad thing. It doesn't make a difference what it is, whether it's music, whether it's some sort of creative arts where she's painting and everything is nude, whether it's, a particular way that she chooses to dress. If it's centered around sexuality and it involves a woman, there's usually some sort of negative connotation attached to it. And I don't really have a good answer as to why. I think it makes people uncomfortable when women are comfortable in their skin. I think it makes people uncomfortable when a woman just doesn't give. Can I cuss?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. I don't want to offend
Be
nobody.
yourself. We encourage you to be yourself.
Still, because sometimes.
No, we appreciate you asking. We appreciate you asking, but we don't want.
I think that. No, I think that sometimes people have an issue with women that just don't give a fuck. Like me personally, I don't give a shit. Like if my stuff was leaked or people said that they saw like my naked ass or my naked breasts or whatever, I'd be like, okay, did you enjoy it? Like, did you pay for it? What, you know what I mean? And I don't have an OnlyFans because I'm broke. I own my own business. I've owned my own company for almost 15 years. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it gives you like an extra income, but it's also a different way for me to connect and interact with my fans. There are couples that I produce videos for that help them in their marriage in terms of exploring new ways of intimacy, in terms of encouragement, in terms of technique. So there are a lot of different reasons why people do OnlyFans, but people have just isolated it to the fact that somebody needs money, somebody's broke, and this is their only way of making money. Like it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it is a lot of variables, because she even stated when she, I guess after a while, she started reading the comments, and there was so many negative comments that she, had to reply back. She had to, I guess, stand up for her. And she stated, like she said, I'm not really hard on money like that. I'm doing fine. Like I'm not using this to get to find a better job, or this is not just something that basically she wants to do. And And she just said, it's a way for her to showcase her other skills that she has. And she also says that she's not doing porn on her OnlyFans.
Right.
Like, she's just showing some skin, and then she has another element to interact with her fans. And so, you know, I do feel like it is a stigma behind just the name OnlyFans.
Absolutely. But you know the crazy thing is, though? Okay, so like, if it was Patreon, there are women on Patreon, there are men on Patreon, there are couples on Patreon that do the same thing that they do on OnlyFans and get paid for it. The only difference is it's in a part of Patreon where you can't search because it's considered explicit content. But they don't stop people from doing this. Oh, the second that anybody hears OnlyFans, there's an immediate connotation that it's pornography. So like on my page, I have audio clips because I have followers that like hearing content versus the visual aspect of it. I have foot fetish clients. I have people who, you know, be like, hey, AJ, can you make a video for me where you're, you know, rubbing peanut butter between your toes for 3 minutes?
Man.
And then, you know what I mean? And they pay for this type of content. So it's not just people who are looking like to beat off or to jerk off or like to expose people, or it's not necessarily like hardcore fucking. Some of it really is artistic and creative content. And a lot of it is fetish related content. That's the thing that people don't think of. But everyone just automatically goes to like, oh my God, you're doing porn. Why are you on that porn site? Like, it's not. You have people who do fitness instructional fitness videos on their OnlyFans. You have people who do music on. There's a woman who has a cooking class on her OnlyFans. She makes cooking videos. You know what I mean? So I don't know. People are limited and ignorant in their way of thinking, and it shows in every time that they make those kind of idiotic and stupid comments.
You was about to say something, Timor?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just really about to ask. I think I was gonna ask something else, but I wanted to ask. So, how does, you know, getting an OnlyFans come about? Like the decision to say, oh, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, basically your thought process.
Yeah, for you
starting an OnlyFans. What was your thought process before, I guess, making?
Interestingly enough, 2 of my closest female friends messaged me. Interestingly enough, they hadn't had a conversation, but they both messaged me in the same day and said to me, you should put up an OnlyFans. You would do so great with an OnlyFans. Or like, you know what I mean? Everybody likes looking at you whenever you know, like if I post a video, not a video, like if I post a picture, if I'm wearing some type of lingerie or something that's see-through, everyone knows I'm anti-bra. So a lot of times you'll see like my nipples in my shirt and stuff like that, where I have to like cover them up or censor them because Instagram apparently hates breasts. So you know what I mean? Like my girlfriends had said to me, like, why don't you just put your stuff up on OnlyFans? And then that way anybody who wants to come see you can come see you. And then you don't have to worry about being solicited, or you don't have to worry about the threat of being banned. Prior to that, like I thought doing an OnlyFans would be kind of neat, but I never wanted it to be like, I don't do hardcore porn in any way, shape or form. The stuff that I do, honestly, it's more, I don't know, like it's the kind of stuff that people look at on my Instagram page and say they'd like to see a little bit more. So the little bit more is what's on my OnlyFans, and then there's a little bit more than the little bit more.
I got you. I mean, like I said, personally for me, I feel like, and I feel like what you say is just the name OnlyFans itself already had stigma on it. Yeah. So whether you doing porn, cooking, doing feet, whatever it is,
you're still doing porn.
They all gonna lump you. They're all gonna lump you in the same category.
Yes.
And like I said, for that, I feel like that's an issue. I mean, but like I said, but the downside about that is, in order for people to really see what each individual is doing, they would have to pay to really, okay, they doing this, to decipher. Because like I said, from the beginning, everybody is already lumped with OnlyFans being this super sexual site.
Yes.
So I understand from that. But then, like I said, I also understand on the side of women taking advantage of a way to interact with their followers more, and then a way to get extra money. because if there's a buyer, if you feel like there's something out there that you can sell and that you have the product to sell it,
why wouldn't you sell it?
Why wouldn't you? If you got somebody to buy it, why wouldn't you do it? So like I said, I understand the thought process between a lot of women doing it. And so,
and you know the thing, sorry to cut you off. I don't have to physically interact with anybody. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have, there's no threat of anyone coming to my home. There's no threat of anyone doing anything inappropriate to me. There's no threat whatsoever. You know, like I said, it's a way for people to, like, so somebody said to me once that, like, I'm a sexual fantasy for people, whoever they are. I don't ask, I don't care, I don't want to know. I've had people message me in my DMs to tell me that they have masturbated to a particular picture on my Instagram.
Okay.
And there, you know what I mean? There's no Instagram picture where my breasts are out, where my ass is out, where, you know what I mean? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, like, what are you masturbating to? You know? But people have different tastes, and people have different fetishes, and people like different things, you know? So it's like, you have people who criticize and chastise people who have an OnlyFans, but there's a market for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be doing as well as it does. You know what I mean? So people can criticize it all the live long day, but like for people unlike myself, there are people who are making a viable monthly sustainable income because they have a following and a fan base that wants to see them, wants to engage with them, wants to interact with them, and wants exclusive content.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you sell a picture if someone's willing to pay? Okay, Noble Noah. If someone was willing to pay $100 for a picture of you where you have your boxer shorts pulled down low, so they could see like the top of your man and the little crease part that's up at the bottom where you're just bare chested and greased up. Somebody wants to pay you $100 for that picture. You wouldn't sell that picture? I'm just ask.
You ain't want to answer, bro.
I mean, let's be clear. Let's be clear about this. OnlyFans, like any type of exotic work, whether that is whether you just exotic dancer, whatever it is, it takes a level of skill, and it takes a level of self willingness to open yourself up like that. And people look over the fact that not everybody can do that. Not everybody is comfortable in showing themselves in that light. I don't really think it's like it takes the business side of it that I can make money in doing it, but it also takes the comfortability of yourself to say I am comfortable doing this and putting myself out there in the world like that. And I think that's the thing with the female from the Bernie Mac show, that she said that she used to, long time ago, used to care about what people thought about her or care about what people wanted to see from her. But when she decided to make that OnlyFans, she had made up in her mind that she doesn't want to be a people pleaser anymore. She wants to do what she wants to do. And so her making OnlyFans was a statement saying, I don't care how y'all feel about it, I'm going to do what I want to do. And so I think people just look over the fact that people just feel like, oh, you just getting, like, people look over the fact that people getting on there to do whatever they do in whatever way that they do. It takes a level of comfortability with yourself. It takes a level of just not caring. It takes a lot of different things to say you want to do that. And that's not necessarily everybody can get to that point.
Right.
And so like I said, it is also commendable to people who are that comfortable for themselves to say that I am willing to show all of me to you to get whatever response it is. Because a lot of people can show themselves and then they might get negative backlash about it and can't handle it. Or they don't like the comments that people say about them. So it's a lot of things to that when you open yourself up to the world. And basically when you showing everything, when you just out there, this is me. You either accept it or don't accept it. So like I said, it is very commendable for people to do that. But like I said, for me personally, I don't think I have that. Even if somebody would pay me a certain level of money, I don't think I am that comfortable to just say this is all me, accept me, world, as you know what I'm saying. Like I'm
what about a stack
behind the scenes person. But go ahead, Timor.
What if they? And I was about to say, what if they say they'll pay you a stack?
Like I said, man, it's not
For
to me.
one
It's not,
pick.
to me. It's not about the listen. To me, it's not about the money. To me, it's just more about I just don't want myself out there like that. You get what I'm saying? Like I just don't want myself out there in the world in that light. Like to me, like I said, I'm just a private person, and so in back of my mind.
What about you, Butter?
Oh, go ahead, Butter.
You said what happened?
What about you, Butter? You doing that? They paying you a stack of pick?
Man, fuck yeah.
About to say you get to quit your day job.
Hey, send that money over. You live for 2 more. I'll be in that one for like
Part of me feels like a lot of people who are passing judgments are the same people who want to watch porn for free. I think part of their issue is that they have to pay for it. They want to see you, but they don't want to pay to see you. And then, so what they'll do is they'll grumble and complain about it, because I promise you, the people who are complaining about OnlyFans and they sit down and watch porn in abundance. So what is the issue?
But
you can't be, to me, like it's hypocritical. You know what I mean? If you're so content in watching a woman's body for free, because I see people make the statements, oh, I would never pay for OnlyFans. If I want to see, you know, people fucking, or if I want to see some titties or some ass, I'll just go and watch porn. But these are the same people who are complaining about the fact that OnlyFans is there. Them and the Bible thumpers are what I call them.
I feel like it might be a little different, because do I know you personally or do I don't? Because I mean, like, because if I know you personally a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Of course. I mean, I might want to see it, but I want to see it personally. You know what I'm saying?
I want to be
there. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah, no, guess what? And I was gonna say that too. If I pay, I'm paying for the personal experience. I ain't paying to see it on no goddamn on my computer screen.
That'll cost you a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No. I know that, but I'm just saying, if I'm gonna spend my money, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna want the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Let me read one of these comments though right here. She say, the Color Curve podcast say people comments don't pay down payments, but that content does.
That's a fact.
And that definitely makes sense, y'all. That's facts. That's facts.
I mean, but I agree along the lines of Timor, and to me, I always felt like OnlyFans was, like you said, like people have came to you and said that you know you're the sexual fantasy. To me, I always looked at OnlyFans as, you know, for the people that are partaking in them sexual content, I always looked at it as people fulfilling their fantasies. And to what Timor said, like I feel like it's a different ball game. I feel like it's a different ball game if you actually able to, you know, have a personal relationship with these people, but you choose to go that route. Then I just feel like, yeah, it starts to be less of a fantasy than more of, you know, I don't know, like you, I don't know.
Yeah, because
to describe it.
Because my cause I got a coworker that has an OnlyFans and all, and you know,
is it weird interacting with them?
It's not, because I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think I would just subscribe to her OnlyFans. If anything, I would try and get you know, while I'm at work, try and
real life. Right.
And then that way I can, you know, see that shit for real instead of me just subscribing and looking from the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, nah, I feel you though. I mean, that was some, you know, somebody that you don't know, and you know,
yeah.
Damn, you know what I'm saying? Then they want, you know, curious, want to see what it's working with.
But then you also have people who are shy as well. Like if you were more shy and felt like you couldn't really approach her, but she was a fantasy for you, that might be a way for you to have engagement with her without having engagement with her. Do you know? Like I know my following base really well, and so when someone new follows me, one of the first things I message them and say, like, I greet them, but one of the first things I tell them is that if you're looking for hardcore porn, this is not the place that you're going to find it. I don't do that. Do you know what I mean? And not to say that there aren't sexual things that I do that are posted on the page, but I tell, because I know that there's some page where like it's ass fucking, it's dick sucking, it's every position, it's pum pum spread open, it's facial, like it's everything. And I tell people, if you're coming to my page to find that kind of content, you're going to be very disappointed. And then, you know, I have a good amount of people who they're subscribed monthly, like they're just on repeat. So every month they're subscribed. They tip every time like I post something. They tip. They make comments. Like I haven't had a negative interaction with anyone as yet, except one guy, and I blocked him, and then his money was refunded because yeah, he was on some creep shit. I felt like what he wanted to do was take my content, download it, and then disseminate it somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that. One of the safety mechanisms in place right now, and I don't know how long it's going to be there, is that you can't download any content from OnlyFans. So if somebody requests a personal video and I send it to them within the chat in OnlyFans, they can't personally download it. They have to be subscribed in order to see it. They can't take it. Now, granted, you know, I think like with iPhones, they might be able to like screen record, but to actually download the video themselves to keep it, they can't do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and to go back to what you said earlier about, you know, the only people, you know, feeling some type of way about the OnlyFans, and then they're like, well, I can watch porn for free and all these different things. I feel like too, because like I said, you just described it, just certain things that you have to, I guess, pay for ahead of time to have access with, and so. Like I guess it comes down to you really, if you really get into the OnlyFans, because I guess everything is locked up until you subscribe to the channel. So I guess you really don't know what you're getting until you subscribe. Unlike porn, you know exactly what it is as soon as you know, they give you as much as you can, so you know what you want, what you're gonna get before you get in there. So do
some pages give you free previews though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Like there's some pages where, so there's a couple of options. So for some people, they can make their page free, but then you have to pay for every piece of content that they put out. So instead of paying like a monthly subscription where you get access to everything that's on their page, you only get access to what you pay for. So I could make like you know, I could take off the safeties on my page where everybody can see like a preview of what's there, and then lock each thing. So if you want to see my pictures, you have to pay $50 to unlock the pictures. If you want to see a video, you have to pay $45 to unlock that video. And there's some people who do that. Me, it's just easier to have like one fee. You pay $24.99. You can come back as many times as you like over the course of the month. You can scroll through whatever you want, whether it's something you want to listen to, something auditory, whether you want to see something about feet, whether you want to see something that's about ass, whatever it is, that you have access to that all day, every day for 20, 30, 31 days, depending on how many days are in the month. So.
I mean, like I said, it's a very interesting concept. And like I said, to go back to what I was saying earlier, like I said, I personally, if there's a lane and for women to get more money, and like I said, there's a lot of people on OnlyFans making a lot of money catering to the audience, whatever audience that is that they're catering to. So like I said, I never personally knock anybody hustle. However you feel you can get some extra money or whatever it is, utilize whatever talent you have, utilize that to bring in whatever you need to bring in. So like I said, I have no issue with that. I think, you know, the backlash on OnlyFans, like you said, is just more of people it's just a stigma. It's just people, anything dealing with OnlyFans, it's gonna be, oh, you on OnlyFans? They gonna blow it up more than what it is. And I feel like
they made OnlyFans sound like Pornhub. Like, you know,
right.
Like saying OnlyFans, like saying Pornhub, what's up? You know, that's crazy.
Yeah. So like I said, I definitely agree to that. So like I said, everybody has a choice to be free and do what they want to do, make the choices that they want to make, and everybody just have to respect that and moving forward. But the next question that I have relating to that also is, do you feel if a woman has an OnlyFans, it puts a perception out there of her entering the dating world? As in, do you feel like her going on dates and interacting with other men, if men know they have an OnlyFans, do you feel like men will treat them differently or treat them as in, you know, it's already out there, so how much work do I really want to put in?
Yes, I do. It's so for me, on a personal level, I've had issue with, so long before I had an OnlyFans, someone that I was dating like 3 years ago had an issue just with my content on my Instagram page. And the interesting thing is, so like, I had posted a picture of myself, I think like my bra and panties, and I was standing in the mirror, and there was some sort of caption about body positivity and what have you. And he took offense and issue to the picture. And so I said to him, like, I've posted content like this before prior to us dating, when you were just somebody who followed me and you liked every picture and supported every picture and had no issue with it. But now that we're dating and I'm still posting the same type of content, now you have a problem with it. And he's like, oh, well, it wasn't the same then. I'm like, what's the difference? He's like, well, we're together now. I said, okay, so you want me to change because we're together now? And he's like, well, no, I don't exactly. Anyways, long story short, I wasn't with the bullshit. It's like, this is how you met me. I didn't switch up. I didn't change. This is how I am. You know, and I always say to people, it's like the way that I post myself is the way that I post myself, but my engagement and interaction with you on a personal level is something completely different. So, you know, I'm in a bra and panty talking about body positivity. When I take off that bra and panty and I'm naked, those are the pictures that you're getting. That's the content that's for you because you're my man. You know what I mean? That's not stuff that I'm posting on anywhere. That's stuff that, and even like when I take those kind of pictures of me and you are together, I delete them. So the only person that has them is you, not even me. You and you alone. That's my gift to you. That's me giving a part of myself to you. I think part of the problem is like people are so focused on the exterior of a person that they forget about the interior of the person. Just because someone is looking at my body doesn't mean that they have access to me. Doesn't mean that they're going to get to know me on a personal level. Doesn't mean that they're going to get to engage with me in any way, shape, or form. You have me. Focus on that. Focus on that. I can't stop people from commenting. Man, if I have on a dress that I'm covered from top to bottom, people still comment about something. It doesn't change anything, right? So I think that it definitely makes it more difficult for women when they're dating, when a man finds out that they have an OnlyFans, because it's all of a sudden like, oh, what's on your OnlyFans? Can I get to see? Like, no, if you want to see, pay like everybody else. Why are you focused on that? I'm here with you, right? Or it's like,
so that's something that is that something that you're upfront about, like when you first start dealing with him?
Absolutely.
How long do you be talking to him before you let him know that I have OnlyFans?
So, initially, I don't tell anybody what I do. I don't tell anyone that I'm a podcaster. I don't tell anyone that I'm a designer. I don't tell them I own my own company. I don't tell them, I don't. So when somebody meets me and they ask me, what do? I honestly lie because I want to see where they're going with that line of questioning. Generally, when someone asks you, what do you do for a living? Do you have an Instagram? Can I see your pictures? It's because they're trying to place you in some kind of a category. They're trying to figure out where you fit, and I'm not with the bullshit. Either you get to know me and get to know me, or I can just give you whatever it is that you feel like you're looking for. So generally when people say to me, because the tattoos, my long nails, if they know that I have an Instagram, the pink hair, there's this automatic assumption that I am some sort of an airhead. And so I play into that. They'll ask me, oh, what do you do for a living? I say, oh, I'm a secretary. I work at an office. Oh, that's cool. Do you like that kind of job? I'm like, yeah, it's nice. I don't mind. And like, I play it up because I want to see where they're going with that. Maybe like after the first week or so, like I'll fess up and say, well, this is my page. This is what I actually do. I own my own business and all this kind of stuff. And then it shifts the dynamics. They're like, oh, well, why didn't you say that before? Like, does it change my personality? It doesn't change who I am. It shouldn't change the scope of conversation. Really, to me, all that external stuff, it's irrelevant. If you and I vibe, if you and I get along, why does it matter what I do for a living? You know what I mean? It'd be different if I was, I don't even know if it would matter if I was like a stripper. Maybe that kind of thing I would tell you up front so you can decide whether or not you want to stay. But I just feel like people place too much emphasis and too much judgment on what people do for a living and the way that they interact and engage with people on social media. And it's just strange to me. Like I've had people go like just into like some kind of fan headspace when they find out like the number of followers that I have, or that I've got a podcast, or that I've been doing this, and that I know this person, or I know that person, or it's just bizarre. It's really bizarre to me. I don't like it.
I say you said a lot there, and I'm trying.
Sorry.
I'm still stuck on the line part.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm
right.
trying to put it all together. I mean, basically, I understand where you're coming from. That you say that you want people to know you for you, mm-hmm. before they understand all the other elements that come with it. Because if they don't like you for you, then all the other stuff really don't matter. like I said, if y'all personally have a good genuine connection together, then all that other stuff will come in after that. But if y'all can't get past the first genuine connection, then we don't got to worry about spending the rest of my life and all the other stuff I do. I do understand that, but then like I said on what Timor said, about upfront and saying it too. But then I like what you said about well, I try to play off of what people think I am, and then whatever they're looking for, I give them that. And so I feel like that is probably the most commendable thing too, because a lot of people talk themselves in or expose themselves about what they want early. So if they expose themselves early and you give them what they want, they on out the way.
Yeah.
They already out the way. So you're not wasting their time,
Yes.
and they're not wasting your time. Y'all can, with this what you're looking for, here's that, and move forward. And so I feel like that right there is the best communication method right there to really break down, okay, what are you looking for? Oh, do you find me attractive? This is my stuff. Or do you want to, if you breaking that down earlier and letting people know what it is, and y'all having that conversation exchange, then it's a lot of confusion taken out of it. So like I said, I really do understand your method and how you're going about it. But like I said, I just feel like men, I feel like what you said, people try to put people in a box. I feel like men always try to put a woman in a box. They either want a woman to be who they thought they were in their head, or they want them to be, the fantasy or whatever they visualize. So I feel like it's hard either way. I feel like even if you wait and let a man get to know you, even if y'all
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But
even if
are you really getting? Is he really getting to know you? If you said that you usually, I guess if they ask certain questions, you usually lie. So are they really getting to know you?
No. There's some. I mean, as far as like my employment, as far as things like, do I own my own home? What kind of car I drive? Like, to me, those kind of things are really irrelevant, because it's like, if I like you and your full-time job is working at Home Depot, I'm not going to like you less because you do manual labor. Versus
some women do that.
I know,
I was
and I
about to say.
and
I was about to
I
say.
know,
A lot out here
I
like
know,
that.
you know what I mean? It's like, but that's the thing, I think too, that women sabotage themselves because they put out all these feelers about what it is that they're looking for in a man, and then you have people who play up to that just to get what they want, and then they dip. I'm kind of like that because I do the same sort of thing on the flip side of it. But for me, I'm at an age now and at a stage in my life where, as long as you're gainfully employed, I really don't give a fuck what your employment is. If you work at Home Depot and that's your job and you go there 5 days a week or 6 days a week and you're committed to that, and that sustains your life and helps you to pay your bills and helps you to live a decent life and a decent livelihood, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor and be a piece of shit and be an asshole and have a shitty personality, but I'm not going to stay with you just because you're a doctor or a lawyer. I'd rather be with the guy that works at Home Depot who is focused and driven and goes to work and has a decent heart and a decent personality. People choose people a lot of times based on what their profession is, based on how much money they have, and based on all these other things. The amount of times that I get people who slide into my DMs based on the way that I look and want to engage in a discussion with me, and then when they hear the way that I articulate myself, they rally back real quick because they're not expecting an intellectual or an intelligent conversation. What they're expecting is they can message me and say HRU, and I'm like, HRU? What does HRU mean? And they're like, oh, it means how are you? And I said, now look at how easy that was for you to have wrote. How are you? You could have just started off the conversation that way. When I see acronyms and stuff like that, I get turned off. And then sometimes I feel like I want to toy with people because of that foolishness, but it's just
So you
insane to
hate
me.
the what you doing text too, huh? You hate them what you doing text, don't you?
I do. WYD, like seriously? I don't want to be WYD to death. I don't want to be HRU to death. I don't want to be good morning beautiful to death. Yeah, no. Like, say something different.
Is it because you see? Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, so it's because you see it a lot. So
All the time.
you want something different. You want something different. I mean, like, because I mean, I get it. When you have multiple guys, sending, you probably got like maybe 6 good morning texts.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so I mean, I get it, but Don't you
But
feel
you
like
guys
that
have
at
these
some point you're
conversations
going to
all the
consider?
time. You could have a different approach. A lot of men just choose not to. Like people talk about this all the time. Like if you have 5 women every morning saying, "Good morning, handsome. Good morning, handsome. Good morning, handsome. What you doing? Good morning,
But the
handsome.
funny
What you
part
Oh, you
doing?"
about it
winning.
is we
If
hear
you're a man and you
that's
got that, you
but
winning.
yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, but no, the thing is though, the thing is though, a lot of the stuff they do, they be feeling like oh, I've heard that before. Y'all all do the same shit they do too. A lot of the times, a lot of the stuff is like okay, it's multiple women. There's a lot of women that send good morning text, or there's a lot of women that send what you doing text. You know what I'm saying?
That
But
not
we don't
annoying?
really.
But the flip side of that, T-Moy, and I'm glad you got a flip side of that, is the reason the men don't complain about how women approaching us or how it's going is because we don't get it enough to really complain about it. We don't get it enough. That's what I said. If a man if you got 5 or 6 women sending you a good morning, YRD, or all these different stuff like that, and you don't care, you like, shoot, I'm coming up. This is my time right now. I feel like women, just what you said earlier. I feel like women especially like you said, you AJ, you like I said, you're a very beautiful woman, and like you said, you have a lot of content out there that's definitely going to attract a lot of men. So I know that you probably get messages. And so after a while, the message is gonna start looking redundant. Man, this guy did that. This guy said what the other guy said. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much. I understand that women are looking for a deeper connection. They want men to be more creative and all this different stuff. But women gotta understand it's not really being less creative. It's just that y'all are just seeing the same thing over and over
And
and
over.
over and over. That even if this man may start off like that, and the conversation may get better later on, that
Yes.
y'all looking at it as
Right.
you already started off wrong. You already started off like
Sure.
this, and I done heard this already. So you already pushing them away because how you started off. But you gotta let's see if it goes into something else.
Yes. And you know what? I will say that there are people who have DM'd me and they've started off that way, but because of the way that I converse with them, they
Yeah,
start to realize
I
that they
was
need
going.
to kind of
Yeah,
like switch things up a bit. So instead of, it being the WID, they'll actually say, hey, what's going on? How was your day? What are you up
Right.
to today? Did you have a good day? Or instead of, the HRU, they'll say like, good morning, how are you? They'll actually write out whole sentences. And then I like I'll verbally convey my appreciation for that, because I'm not above saying to somebody like, I really don't like the acronyms. Like, it's just,
yes, communication. Yes.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like expand the communication a little bit. They're like, and you know what? Honestly, some guys have been like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Like, I've hit up a lot of females in that manner and they didn't mind. So I appreciate you telling me, you know what I mean? So that we can have like a full conversation, because I realize there is a segment of the population that they're just happy to have somebody, like you said, message them. So they'll just take whatever they get.
Mm-hmm. No, and like I said, I definitely agree to that, and I liked the response that you said, as in how you converse with the man brought the conversation. I feel like a lot of women, when it starts off dry, they return dry, and then they expect some magical conversation to occur. Like
Right.
somebody got to spark this conversation. If the man starting off dry, the woman got at least, but I feel like a lot of women get turned off because the
Yeah,
conversation
show
started
some
dry.
interest.
But if your
Yeah.
interest ain't high and his conversation dry, the conversation
Yeah.
not gonna go nowhere no way. So it's
True.
really no point. I'm gonna say sometimes it's
And
only
I
the
feel
man
like
woman. Go ahead, Timor.
no, I feel like that's why when a lot of women say it's no follow up, I feel like that's be why. Because I mean, if most of y'all are really thrown off by the what you doing text, and a lot of times y'all response is like y'all don't really have the interest to talk anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, I'm chilling, ain't nothing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Something
Right.
that just makes them have to just be like, oh, okay. And then you saying, well, okay, he ain't saying shit. But it's like, man, what did you say? I mean, like, you ain't
True.
even really showing that you interested in talking.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I think, like I said, it goes back to the vibe and the conversation. Like I said, I feel like some women can pull better conversation out of men than other women. So I feel
True.
like I feel like, and I do agree with you. A lot of men do come with the same old lazy beginning text. But I feel like sometimes, and I tell men this all the time. Even if you are sending that lazy text, if that woman interest is high enough in you, she gonna try to do something to hold this up for a little while.
Yes.
So if that little ump that she does brings a little spark to conversation, and y'all can roll off of that, then that's what it is. But
Yeah.
if you start off dry and then she come back with some more dry, then one, she probably ain't that interested in you, and two, y'all conversation just ain't, y'all probably don't have no connection like that. So it might be good to just say, well, let either cut to the chase and say what y'all both looking for, or let's go our separate ways and move on.
Great.
Hey,
I
Color
agree.
Curve. I think that was the comment of the night. She said Butter left the whole live just to get some roll of papers. I ain't know how to do it, y'all. Hey, I only had one cheat. I said, oh shit, how am I do this? Hey, Color Curve, don't do that again. You exposed me.
Hey, you did good so far, Butter. I didn't even notice that, Butter. You did good so far. I did not notice. But like, let me try to get to these last couple of topics. Like I said, because your conversation is amazing. I see what you're talking about. The conversation is amazing, AJ. Your conversation is amazing. I got to get back. I got to get back on these topics. But okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about too is like I said, continuing on into the dating process. It was a video on Instagram. I know you're familiar with Kevin Samuels.
Yes.
It was a video on Instagram where a woman had called in and said she's casually going on dates, 3 dates, I guess 3 dates a week, or however she said it. And she said that she's kind of confused by why every date that she goes on, that men always looking to have sex either on the first date, the second date. Like, she doesn't understand why men are, so eager. She said she's looking for a relationship. She's not just looking to hook up. She's looking for a relationship. So she said she doesn't understand why men are so eager to have sex on the first and second date. And Kevin Samuels, he broke it down to her and explained, men want sex as soon as they meet you.
That's true. From the second you say hello.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's
shit, probably before you even give them that engagement, and they like, damn,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'll hit that.
No,
yeah,
you know our best line. Oh, fuck the shit out that joint.
They be doing the same shit though.
But it's true. Women do the same thing.
Yeah. But like I said, y'all more subtle about it. But the question that I had is are men really putting more pressure on women to have sex early, or do you feel like that you can, as a woman, that you can still find a viable relationship even if you do have sex early?
Absolutely. I think, I mean, we're all sexual beings. I think people try to skate over that fact. And I think for women, honestly, because we're so invested in trying to get him to see our value and our worth, not as sexual beings, we're so focused on that. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense, especially when we go out of our way to look amazing on the first date. The dress, the boobies are standing up, the face is done, the hair is laid. Like, we go out of our way to look beautiful for that first date, but we don't want you to be attracted to us. We don't want you to feel, sexually attracted, which is absurd. We want you to see our personality. We want you to like us for ourselves. I'm like, it's just the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. If that's the case, you should dress like you're going to Bible study. And then that way, you know what I mean? Like, that way, I feel like even then, if he likes you, he likes you. If he's attracted to you, he's just going to be attracted to you. Because he wants to fuck you on the first date doesn't mean that he doesn't want to date you. He just wants to feel you and engage with you. And the thing is, I mean, you ultimately have the choice of saying yes or no. Getting mad about the yes or no may sabotage you from having a second date. Instead of just recognizing his sexual feelings are his sexual feelings. You have them as well. You're probably just better at repressing them. But it doesn't mean that you have to sleep with them on the first date. You could give him something to look forward to and maybe have conversation with him about it. But don't, it doesn't have to be angry conversation like, oh my God, all you want to do is just fuck me. Oh my God, all you want to do is just sleep with me. Don't you have any, like, seriously? You should be, I don't want to say you should be happy, but you should be happy that he wants to fuck you. because he could want to fuck somebody else and not want to fuck you. Because he wants to fuck you doesn't mean he doesn't have any other feelings towards you. He's just sexually attracted to you. And sometimes that's hard to put down, you know?
No, I mean, like I said, you hit the nail on the coffin. Like I said, you preaching tonight. Like everything that you say, I that. And like I said, I've been known on numerous occasions. Like I said, women have gave me plenty of backlash, but that's the main thing that I tell women all the time. I tell them, get that sex out the way early, because that right there that's gonna cut a lot of men in half. That's gonna cut a lot of men in half, because a lot of men's ultimate goal is to get sex.
Yes.
So once they get sex, they gonna move on to the next partner or the next person that they want to have sex with. So if you get the sex out the way early, that's gonna show you if that
what
man's
they're about,
and he's still treating you how he needs to treat you, and he's still doing the same thing he was doing for you before you had sex. Then you know that yes, this man likes me more than having sex. But I do agree with what you said. I feel like women, we all know that women are sexual beings, just like men are sexual beings. But for some reason, when women start dating, they
we forget. We get
like,
amnesia. Everything gets erased.
it's just like, oh, sex is this thing that just don't exist no more. Like, how could you take me on a date and be attracted to me? Like
Right.
Right.
But you know, the other crazy thing is too, you have women who sabotage themselves because they want to be valued for their personality. They want to be valued for all these things. And so now 6 months into it, he values your personality and all this. And now you decide you're going to give him some. And the sex is subpar. And the dick is not what you wanted it to be. And now you're like, I can't be with him. Like, he doesn't know how to fuck. His dick game is trash. His dick is small. What am I going to do with this? Now he's invested 6 months into the relationship. He's emotionally invested because that's what you wanted, because you didn't want to give him the pussy too soon. And now you don't want to have sex with him because the sex is trash. Now what do? You know what I mean? It's
I seen a post yesterday, or it was the other day, and I forgot exactly what it was, but it had something to do with this. Man, and I see all the women basically they basically going on dudes, because I always see women complaining, talking about how certain niggas don't know what the hell they doing. And I'm like, okay, even if they don't know what they're doing, do you know how to fuck too? Because I feel like if she knows how to fuck, she should still be able to get hers. You know what I'm saying? Even if he maybe is lacking.
Or she can teach him. If there's a particular way that she likes it, or she's more advanced than he is, or she has more experience than he teach him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of women that came on the show and said that that when we go through deal breakers in a relationship, or what they willing to compromise, if the sex ain't that, a lot of women said they can teach them, coach them to get better. A lot of women say we'll take that.
So you could teach. You think you could teach?
Me?
Yeah.
I am the teacher. Come on now.
So you can get them. You can get them right to where you want them to be.
Absolutely.
Hey, but if you can, can you put? Hey, but if you can you put Cougars and Clitty's comment back up on the screen when she said, "Would we tell our daughters?"
Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask y'all. Did y'all want me to go back to that?
Part of the problem, I think, is that you have some women who have this natural expectation that a man is just going to know how to please them, and you have women who don't even know how to please themselves. Everybody's body is not the same. Everyone's erogenous zones are not the same. The way that you like your pussy eaten is not the same. The way that he likes his dick sucked is not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everyone's body is different. And yes, there are some things inherently that everybody likes, but you can't expect someone to blindly know how to please you or get you there without a little bit of help from you. And you can't do that if you yourself don't even know what makes you come or what makes you sexually satisfied. It's just bizarre to me.
And T-Mo with the comment, like I said, I know you have a daughter. I mean, if you want to address that first, and then, like I said, I can go after you.
I mean, see, this is the thing right here. Just the fact that you know, right now my daughter is only about to be 7. So, you know, I know eventually it's going to be some day where she gets older and she is doing something. You know, so to really, you know, I don't know if I will really condone or tell her or just be out here telling her just to go out here and fuck fast or go ahead and get that sex out the way. I mean, because, you know, me as her father, I'm probably ain't gonna really like the fact that she's having sex anyway. But you know, it's going to happen. You know, I'm gonna have to come to grips with that.
Yeah, you don't want
But
you don't want to think somebody give you a little girl the wood.
you know, but you
He's like, I
know,
don't want to talk about
but
it
I
right
would.
now.
Yeah, it's not. No, he don't got worry now, but you know, life happens.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
got
Yeah,
about to turn 18 next week.
hey, butter. Yeah.
Next month. Yeah, my daughter turned 18 next month. No kids, so I don't know if I'm going with that. Tell them the hump fast and all that. I don't know.
Uh,
but
yeah.
I mean, I understand why you say it though, because you know, because it's like you know, a lot of women, you know, have, you know, certain women who say, "Oh, I'm gonna make him wait this certain amount of time," or you know, they have the 90-day rules or the 6 months or however long they make a nigga wait. Like that's really gonna change shit. And you know, making them wait really ain't gonna really mean too much because, like I always say, we vicious at playing the waiting game.
I
You
And
know,
mean,
even if we,
some of them will wait and get the pum pum, and then they're gone.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
yeah. So
but
But you
I
made them wait too
mean,
long.
yeah, but the reason,
but
like I said, I let Timon, like I said, butter chime in, like I said, because I personally don't have a daughter or have any kids yet to really, you know, a personal experience on that. But but my whole thing with that too is, like I said, learning, you know, speaking to women and, you know, interacting with women in general, not just, you know, your kids, just women in general. I feel like when it comes to women, it's not it's not what you say, it's sometimes how you say it.
Understand.
And so, like, when it comes to that, I think the terminology, I think, no, you definitely should come to your daughter and say, well, you just need to go ahead and just give it out there fast. I don't think you should say it like that. But
Yeah,
but
no,
but
yeah, that's good. Nah.
but I do feel that, and I feel like that's where a lot of men, you know, when it comes to raising their daughters, I feel like a lot of men
I'm not the
tiptoe
one who told her,
around
man.
the sex conversation, and then sometimes it leaves their daughters in situations where, you know, they
They're ill
didn't know.
prepared.
They didn't know because their father didn't want to have that conversation because it was a touchy subject. But I feel like if a lot of men, when your daughter becomes of age, if you sit down and have a conversation with your daughter and tell them the dark side of the coin, and tell them, I'm not telling you to go out here and sleep with everybody, but I am telling you that it's a lot of men that's gonna play this game and play this game out until they get what they want, and then they will switch up on you.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily telling them, you know, to go out there and get it fast, but it is getting them hip to that you got to play this game and you got to know what the rules of the game are. So if this game flips on you, you're prepared. You know how to move with it. So if I had a daughter, I would explain it to her like that. I wouldn't just bluntly just tell her just go out there and give it up. But I'm telling
Yes.
her, you know, if you think holding it out is going to put you in a better chance of landing this man that you're looking for, that may not be the case, sweetheart. So you might need to, you know, weigh all options and understand what it is that you're really getting into.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. And you know what? It's better that they hear it from you before someone else tries to convince them of something completely different. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't make it comfortable for her to come talk to you about those kinds of things, she'll get misinformed from somebody who's going to be very quick to tell her something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking I have adult children, so all those conversations we had, all those conversations,
Yeah.
because I didn't want them to be misinformed, nor did I want them to be getting information from people who were misinformed or trying to convince them of something. And even like with my daughter, I'm saying, like, you can, whoever you want to sleep with. Don't try to make nobody, corner you or convince you or coerce you or bad you up or make you feel bad about, them needing you in a sexual type of way. If it's a choice that you want to make the choice. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't have any regrets about it. Protect yourself, be safe, make sure that he's not selfish. Like, you can't be out here where every time he wants you to suck his dick, but he's not trying to make sure that you're good or that you're receiving pleasure as well. We don't play them games. You know what I mean? The playing field has to be balanced, but don't feel bad about the choices that you make, but be mindful of the choices that you make at the same time. if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm about to bring up too. Cause like I said, when I was going through your content, I was watching episodes of your podcast. I seen the episode. Well, I listened to the episode that you had your daughter on there, and how y'all sat down and you was, talking about, the differences going on at her age now, and then where you were at her age, and the similarities and all of that. So like I said, the dynamic that you have with your daughter, where y'all able to sit down and have that open dialect and really go back and forth, and she really can, let out everything that she wants to tell you, and you can really give her that advice in that moment. I think that definitely a perfect a way to build a dynamic and a strong relationship with your child, to be open and honest.
It's the same with my son, like, because, and I don't know if it's the same for you guys, like in Black households, but like in Caribbean, Jamaican Black households, we don't ever talk about sex. Like the first time that my mom had a sex conversation with me, I think I was 19. And her words to me were, if you're going to have sex, make sure you use condoms. That was the end. That was the entirety of the discussion. And I'm saying, in my mind, I'm like, you should have told me this like 5 years ago. You're 5 years too late, But even when I had the conversation with my daughter, the irony of it is that she's at the age that I was when I had her brother, and her brother's at the age I was when I had her. Neither one of them are interested in having children. Neither one of them are ready to, to settle down. They're enjoying their youth and being young adults. But if I realized, had I not had certain conversations with them, they would have been swayed differently, and might have come home pregnant sooner than they would have wanted to, and a whole bunch of other things, because this is what their friends were doing. You know what I mean? Their friends are sneaking out at night. Their friends are sneaking out to go to parties. Their friends have boyfriends. Their friends have girlfriends, and all this kind of stuff. And you have kids who are ill prepared because their parents don't have these kind of conversations with them. So it's easy to convince them, like, 16-year-old boy tells you, I love you. I want to be with you. Let's have sex. If you loved me, you would have sex with me. And you're thinking to yourself, I feel all these emotions. I don't have anyone to talk to about it. He's telling me that he loves me. I know that I love him. Let me just go on ahead and have sex with him. You have sex unprotected because he tells you he doesn't like condoms, or he's allergic to condoms, or whatever bullshit it is. The condom's too big, it's too small, it's whatever. Two is you're coming home at 16 years old and you're pregnant. And now you have to have a conversation with your mom that you should have had before, or have a conversation with your dad that you should have had before. But nobody sat you down and said, these are the ups and downs that you're going to go through. These are some of the things that may happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and I do agree, and that's why I always feel like I say, even having this, and like I said, like listen back to your podcast that you have with your daughter. I think the major factor that is different from times back when to now is just that, if you don't talk to your kids, social media gonna talk to your kids. And so if you let social media talk to your kids, they're gonna fill your kids' head up with so much different stuff all at one time that your kid ain't gonna know which way to go. So like I said, at this point, you're not even at race to if you got a daughter to beat your daughter from this. You're not at a race to beat this guy coming up to your daughter saying, I'm feeling you. I really care about you. I want you to give it up. You're not in a race to meet him at 16. You're in a race to stop social media from filling up your child's head with all this stuff before she even get to this man.
It's true.
So like I said, at this point now, it becomes you have to talk to your kids earlier and earlier and earlier, because it's so the influence. But before, like I said, your child, you have to go out and really get that information. Now it's right there at the fingertips.
It's just there.
It's right there at the fingertips. They don't have to do too much to find out whatever they need to. So it's best to have that open dialogue with your child, because if you don't tell them, they're gonna find out from somewhere.
Exactly.
So you would hate for them to get the wrong information. So you definitely want to stay on top of that, especially like I said, when it's a mother to son relationship, a father daughter relationship. You want to keep that relationship strong, because you don't want them to get that information from somewhere else, and then it be wrong. And then, like you said, they coming home 16 years old, 15, 14, pregnant, and then they trying to catch you up or something that you could already been caught up.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But my next question that I have is, like I said, in the dating process, you, like I said, you mentioned earlier that that women, women are sexual beings just as men are very sexual beings. And I really feel like, with men always having to approach and ask women, do they want to have sex or engage in, in sexual activity with the woman. I feel like, society has painted men as being these ultra sexual, always horn dog type of individuals. And society has made it seem like men are always horny, men sex drive is this, men X, Y, and X, Y, and Z. So my next question for you is, in your life, in your time, like I said, who do you feel it has is hornier or has the higher sex drive? Do you feel like women do, or do you feel like it's men? And what society has put it on men, it is true.
Oh, it's definitely women.
Okay.
I think that men have gotten a bad rap. You know what it is too? I think part of it is because your physical arousal is on the outside, whether you're physically aroused or not. Do you know what I mean? You wake up with morning wood, not because you're sexually aroused, you just wake up with morning wood. The breeze blows, and sometimes you get a stiffy just because the breeze is blowing. It could happen that the breeze is blowing and a woman walks by at the same time, but the breeze is what's triggered the hard on. But because a woman is walking by at the same time, the natural association is, oh, you're a pervert. You were looking at her, and that's why your dick got hard. But really and truly, I think women are bigger perverts than men. It's
Mm.
just that our stuff's on the inside, so you never really see how aroused we are. Because if our pussies get wet, they're locked up in our panties, so it's not like you're gonna see it. Whereas if your dick gets hard, you know what I mean? Like the imprint is there. I mean, shit, we're looking at dick prints all through like sweatpants season. When you're in a suit, if we give you a hug, we're trying to like feel on it to see like the size of like women. We're perverts.
Oh, y'all.
We're perverts, honestly. Yeah, I think we are definitely the bigger horn dogs. That's not even a bad thing for me to say, but I
Nah,
do.
I mean, like I said, it has taken me a long time to realize that myself. Like I said, I always thought that men, like I said, what society said, like we always on go, but we ready to go. We
Yeah,
always on go. That was my perspective. Like I said, it really didn't start. Like I said, it really didn't start hitting me until I entered the podcast community, because in the podcast community, women, like I said, women such as yourself and other women are very vocal and open about their sexuality, what they're looking for, what they want, how they like it, everything. And I feel like, as a man, we don't see that up front from women. Like
right.
women, like in our natural everyday life, talking to women and approaching women, we don't get that from women. Like you said, like when women go on dates, they try to act like this sex. Like women always, they put the sex in the back burner. So
Right.
it's rare that you meet a woman and up front she telling you all of this. You may get that after you reach a certain point where she feels comfortable enough to open up to you sexually and give you everything that she likes sexually, what she into, all of that. But you're not gonna get that up front. And so like I said, being in the podcast community with just a lot of women just being upfront and saying this and saying how long they like to go and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. So I'm just like, yeah, it's starting to sink in that women, if y'all sex drive is not higher than y'all's, not higher
It
than
is.
ours, that y'all definitely it's either tied or whatever it is. Because like I said, I really, like I said, because women always used to play it as in, they they like sex, but it is not something they always need.
Right.
But now going back, like I said, Timo posting, the video that he posted on his page with the, now they have the sex toys and all of that, and women talking about how, how many times a week they self pleasure themselves, even without the sex itself, just the
Yes.
self pleasuring, how much they self pleasure themselves and all that different stuff. I said, well, yeah, y'all women, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just a front. Yeah, go ahead, Timo. What you about to say? Hey, you on mute, Timo.
My bad, y'all.
Go
No,
ahead.
I was
Okay.
about to say, and no, you know me, I'm one that, you know, always dealt with, you know, who I've dealt with, you know, a lot of cougars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and a lot of the women have told me, you know, 40 plus, that a lot of women 40 plus have said that once they hit, you know, 40, you know, they sex drive done went through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you know, that's definitely how it be. You know,
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
but then like you say too, like I said, like women when they get older, they sex drive picking up. But some men when they get older, they sex drive start declining, depending on how well that man, depending on how well that man is taking
Which is
care
why
of.
the
Yeah,
cougars
they
be
want
wanting
they
them to
want the
sleep
younger
right.
dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll
So
tell you something though, like if for guys who are dating, and if the woman is not necessarily giving off like vibes like she's sexually interested in you, you can gauge it by the way she hugs you at the end of the night. If she gives you like the quick brotherly hug, she's not really into it. If she gives you a little bit of a lingering hug, she's interested. But if she gives you a full body hug where she's holding on and pressing herself into you
oh
tightly,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
she
More, they
she
call
wants
me.
it. You might not get it that night, but probably within that week you'll get it.
yeah.
Okay.
They said T-Mo the cougar chaser.
No, it just always just happened like that.
Older women,
Yeah, and like I don't know, just a lot of women, older women, you know, just had naturally was on me, you know,
what is
for
it
some
about you
reason.
that attracts them?
I don't know. I mean, like
You never
I was
asked?
I just been at. It's been times where I remember one time it was an older woman. You know, I was at the bar. I'm actually out to eat with my mom. What's it called? I know all I do is I'm sitting there. I just stretch, but when I stretch, I accidentally like bump into her, and then from when she turned around, she seen me, and then she started I don't know, she just kept trying to just talk to me the rest of the night.
So you punched her.
But then nah, I mean I touched her. I'm saying, I ain't gonna say I punched her, but what's it called? Then I mean after a while, I mean I ended up getting her number that night. But she probably was about this was years ago. I was probably about like maybe 23 at 20 23 24 at that time. She probably was maybe about like maybe 15 16 years older than me.
Nice.
Jeez, gee whiz.
I mean, I feel like with Timo, like I said, me knowing Timo, like I said, like me too. I feel like that we both are considered to have old souls.
Mm.
So, like I said, with us having like I don't know if it's both, like I said, we both cancers or whatever it is. Like I said, we both have older souls, and so we can dibble and dabble, and with younger women, but I think we can relate more to
Older
older
It's
women.
women. I think,
probably the vibe for real. Because I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I do feel like sometimes just that vibe, just can be everything for real.
It really is the vibe, the vibe, and just a connection. Like that, once you connect on a lot of different things and interests like that, I think that peaks a lot of either sexual energy or just common energy in general. So I definitely do agree with that. The last question that I have for you tonight, Miss AJ, is just like we said earlier, with women that I guess we all, like I said, I didn't get Butter and Timor's opinion on it, but I feel like we all feel that women have a higher sex drive than men? You feel like that, Butter, Timor?
Yeah, hell yeah, women nasty on the low.
No, they definitely nasty. I mean, I wasn't gonna really
They know when they want
pick.
to see, man. Yeah, they
I
definitely
wasn't really
on
gonna
the
pick.
low. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get to them. I give them that one.
Yeah, I wasn't really gonna pick who has it more. I was just gonna say that maybe that they just wanted that just like we wanted. At the end of the day, we all grown people like to fuck. So I mean
So
that's
you're basically saying it's
really
equal.
where I was just at with it.
Mm-hmm. So
But I do. But just how they put the stigma on us, I was about to say I don't know why it's just all on us. Like they don't be wanting the same thing.
they
Just like I
hide it
said, they
well.
be looking at us too and
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, I'll fuck him." They'll definitely do that.
We
Now
do.
Now AJ messed me. Hey, buddy, AJ messed me up when she say, because I didn't even know that she messed me up when she be like, "Oh, women hug y'all a certain way to see how that dick."
Oh yeah, no, they do,
Absolutely.
no, they do. You know,
I ain't
they
never
try to
heard that.
no, you got to know that move, no. They try to get up in between your legs. You know what I'm saying? In between
Yeah,
your legs.
we like, we kind of like nestle in,
They
kind of
go
like,
a little bit. They
come
want
in
to
a
see
little
that
bit
thing.
and squeeze
Yeah.
you.
They want to see
Because we're
that.
trying to feel what it feels like. We're trying to see if we can like gauge whether or not it'd be worth it to give you, little piece of the pom pom.
I don't disagree. Like I said, I don't put nothing past women nowadays. Like I said, I can see it. I just ain't never heard a woman say it before. But like I said,
no, it's fact. They chase how we chase.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
But most women not woman enough to say it. I'm glad Miss AJ.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
woman enough to say it. Yeah.
But the last question I have for you, Miss AJ, like I said, we talked about high sex drive and women and men. But do we feel like when it comes to self-pleasuring, like I said, we know that women have a variety of sex toys, a variety of options that they can use to self-pleasure themselves. And like I said, men, they have a way or ways to self-pleasure themselves. Do we feel like over self-pleasuring yourself, as in a woman overly using her toys, or a woman or a man overly playing with himself, does it affect them having a complete satisfaction from just having sex with their partner? Because like I said, I know on your podcast, I listened to an episode, it's a man that came on yours that said that he, he's a chronic masturbator, that he, goes off 5 to 6
6-7 times. Oh yeah.
Yeah. and then like I said, with T Moore's post,
hey, that's a serial beater.
I know with T Moore's post, I know that he posted the woman on his page that had the rose and she was going off, and then when the man came home, she was knocked out and the rose just going on by herself.
What about that? That's what I was wondering. Like about what's crazy about that post? Whatever, like I said in the post, what happened to the subtle, like even if you horny or you in the mood before your man get home, what happened to the subtle masturbation to get yourself right? You know what I'm saying? Like she really put herself out. You know what I'm saying? She motherfucking put that work in.
She probably had a whole bunch of orgasms and was tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was passed
she took
out.
all the energy out of her body. She just like let it all free.
So the question that we basically wanted to ask is, can pleasing yourself too much basically mess up your satisfaction, as in when you start messing with a guy, or once you actually get with a guy that you are having sex with? Because a lot of times I've talked and to a lot of women, and they say that when they do be using their sex toys, they be using them Jones like they on a regular, and they be having them Jones turned up to this top-notch speed.
Mm-hmm.
So they be full speed. I mean, like it's like, and then you get a dude like you said that he comes in subpar. How's he matching that?
I don't necessarily think so. I'm a firm believer that there's nothing that can replace human interaction. When you're sexually intimate with someone, whether you're fucking or just having sex, there's some sort of a connection between you and the person. Like you're not just gonna necessarily, well, I don't know, some people do, but there's a connection of some kind that happens. And I feel like as for women, as much as we use vibrators, as much as we use dildos, I guarantee you there isn't a woman alive that wouldn't prefer a man behind that thrust rather than her own hand, And I get that sometimes, men don't live up to the expectation of the vibrator or the dildo, but I feel like we live in an age now where people can incorporate toys into their sexual engagement so that it's not an issue. We know that sometimes overexcitement might make you come too quickly and then she's left unfulfilled. Use her toy on her to help her get the rest of the way if you physically are not able to get her the rest of the way. I think part of the issue is that women rely on toys because certain segments of the population of men are not paying attention to the woman's needs. And so a lot of times once they finish having sex, she's not done, even if he is. And that's unfair to her. If it is that you cannot go the route yourself, like your dick is done, you're finished, help her get there. Use her toys with her. Use her toys on her. A lot of men feel threatened by toys, and really and truly, you shouldn't. It's
Or
an
if you want some
apparatus to
more,
help. That's it.
if you said if you said if his dick is done, or if you want some more, help him get that motherfucker back up.
Yeah,
Even that too.
that's
I,
right.
I,
It's
You know what I'm saying? They be
there's
women be
there's
complaining,
balance.
oh they be complaining, oh you ain't getting back up. You know what I'm saying? No,
But truth be
if you want,
told, sometimes y'all need a minute. And sometimes that minute turns into 30 or 45 minutes, and she's ready to go right then. In that 30 or 45 minutes where you don't necessarily want to be touched because he's too sensitive, you want you feel too hot, you want a little a breather, you want a sandwich, whatever. In that time frame, she could either be pleasing herself to keep the engine going, or you can help continue to please her to help the engine keep going. One of the worst things that happens with women, I will tell you guys this straight up, is allowing her body to die back down from that feeling of pleasure and having to get her back to that point where she's starting to feel you again. Because when we get in our heads about, okay, like, fuck, now I have to, like, like I was just about to come. Now I lost the orgasm. Now I'm annoyed because it's trapped somewhere in my body. You need a 45-minute break and a sandwich and a nap. And now I just have to sit here and wait until you're done. By that time, she's vexed. All them sexual feelings have left her body. She's not interested no more.
I mean, and I understand that, and like I said, every point that you said is valid. But like I said, my thing too is like it doesn't get to a point, and like I said, when somebody is either a woman or a man, if they're constantly pleasing themselves, and they're used to a high level of pleasure all
Right.
the time, your partner may taking that away and just being your partner may not be able to give you what you're used to, because like I said, you're working with either yourself or other objects that can just keep going. They can just
Right.
keep going. So working on other objects, they're making your sex drive higher because it's just like that
yeah,
don't
like
never
magic.
stop. So
Right.
Like I be like it's dudes out here that don't like that that don't really like eating box. So you get a dude out here that's going half ass. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really motherfucking down there getting up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, what the hell is you doing down there? Because you know what I'm saying, you used to a way better experience down that motherfucker but he just going down there going half ass.
So why not
You
use her
like,
toy?
you can, but I'm just saying it just it's
but
like sometimes just
but my,
go
my
ahead,
my
Noah.
question is, I mean, well, my to sum it up, do you feel like it may be okay to kind of even your sex drive out? Is it a such thing as to have a sex drive that you done hyped yourself up and personally
Nah.
and doing this to yourself so much that you got your sex drive so high that maybe if ease off the toy, ease off yourself for a while, bring it down, and then kind of match with your partner. Is it a such thing as somebody's sex drive being too high? And do people have to kind of bring it down and kind of match your partner?
Well, instead of trying to match your partner and they're down here, why not try to bring your partner up to where you are? Why
What
not
what
try
would
to
you,
help?
what would you recommend somebody do to bring their partner's sex drive up, closer to somebody who has a higher sex drive?
I mean, it would have to be engaging with them more frequently. I'm an advocate of couples using toys. I really and truly am. Like, I feel it, even maybe as the precursor or in terms of foreplay, use the toy during foreplay. If your woman is multi-orgasmic and you know that you can maybe only give her 4 where she likes 10, use
Woo!
her toy and give her the first 6, and then
There
you
you
can
go.
fill in the gaps and give her the additional 4. You
So,
know what I mean?
so tell me,
So that way she feels like you're not judging her because she's using a toy. She's getting the level of pleasure that she needs. You're helping to give her the level of pleasure that she needs. It's not putting stress on you to try to give her 10 when you know you can only give her 4. You're working as a collective to achieve the goal, which is to give her 10, and then you get your one big one. Ta-da, everybody's happy.
So
so tell me
then,
this though. I mean, wouldn't you want to know whether or not, like, first of all, do you feel like that sex is a major part or an important piece when it comes to being with someone?
It really depends on the couple. You have some
So what
couples
about
where intimacy is more important to them than actual sex. And then you have some couples where having sex is like the be all and the end all. Like they have to, there's nothing else for them to do. I know couples right
well?
now who maybe have sex once a month, but they live a very fulfilled and fulfilling life, because for them the intimacy, like just even in terms of foreplay or oral intimacy, is far more important and satisfying for them than actually fucking.
But see, that's what I was gonna say. You have to. I mean, it sounds like that's something that they're both cool with. So you
Hmm.
gotta, it seems like it's good to have those type of talks. You don't have to get too in depth, but like I always said, if you trying to, you know, have somebody that matches your sex drive, if you cool with, you know, getting it in once a month, but then the person you with wants it like 7 times a week. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some type of problems there. You know what I'm saying? Eventually,
There has to be a middle ground.
down the
There,
line.
there has there has to be a middle ground. Everything is about compromise. There's no relationship that you have with someone. There's no successful relationship that you have with anyone in your life, whether it's a familial relationship or an intimate relationship. There has to be compromise. When you know what I mean, like everyone's so big on the love languages. People tend to want to love a person the way they want to love the person, instead of loving the person the way they need and want to be loved themselves.
Yeah.
Everything is about compromise, and you can't compromise if there's no communication and no conversation. You know what I mean? If you and I are together and I want 10 but you can only give me 4, if I say, okay, well babe, can we use my toy for the first, couple, or whatever the case may be, or even if it's like, okay, you know what, I'm cool with 4 this time, but next time could we try to do a couple? There's no good relationship without compromise and conversation
That's
and
correct.
comprehension.
Yeah, that's basically because, like I said, when I was saying if you way up here and they down here, whatever it is, that was basically what I'm saying. Compromise, like if your person, if you know, okay, maybe that person can't get all the way to 10. If you're trying to get 10 orgasms, that
Right.
person can't get all the way to 10 orgasms. Are you gonna come down to about 7 or 6, or like what like that's what I'm saying? Come down. Are you gonna
Yeah.
try? Come down a little bit to match your partner,
Yeah.
or you expect your partner to go all the way up to, if they sex drive is not that high, and they, 4 or 5 is good to them, then how you expect them to go all the way up to 10, to sexually please you. So like I said, that's what I mean. So I agree with
Right.
that. I feel like it has to be somewhat of a compromise, but
Absolutely.
communication and everything else to let your partner know that, yeah, I'm used to this, but let's see if we can work to meet at an even ground where we're both satisfied sexually. So yes,
Absolutely. It's different when they say, you know what, well, I can only give you 4, as opposed to, you know what, I will try to give you 10, but I may only be able to give you 6. For
yes,
me, it's more about the effort. The fact that you told me that you're willing to try means everything to me. That means that I can work with you. So if I get to 6 and I'll be like, oh
There
my
you go.
God, babe, the 6, it was so good. Those 6 were so good. But I may also say to you, you know what, like I need one more. I'm gonna go and pull out one of my toys and get one more. It's all about compromise. It's all about conversation. You may be like, you know what, have a great time. I'm gonna go have a beer and a sandwich. I'll see you in about 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Compromise and conversation, communication.
Yeah, that was said. As a man, like I said, if you know you dealing with a woman, your woman has vocalized that she has a high sex drive, and like I said, you giving her all you can give her, and your woman still wants more. If your woman comes to you and say, well, like you said, the 6 round that you gave me was good, but I still want, another orgasm, and she said, well, I'm probably told to get the last one. As a man, if you feel like you did all you can do, then like I said, let your woman have that time to herself and get out her last orgasm so she can be fully sexually satisfied, and you sexually fully satisfied, and then y'all can move forward. But like you said, the key to that is let's have a conversation about it ahead of time so we both know what it is, so it don't be no hurt feelings or misunderstanding in our sexual relationship.
Let
Sure.
them women coach. Let them coach.
But
Yes.
yeah. But like I said, with that being said, AJ, that is our show. That is our show.
Yeah,
We truly appreciate you coming on
My
and
pleasure.
enlightening us.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, you gave
definitely
us
do.
amazing conversation. Amazing conversation.
Appreciate it.
You
Yeah,
dropped a
you
lot of
definitely
gems
did.
on us
Thank
and,
you.
and different stuff like that. So like I said, if you can, like again, let our audience know where they can find you at, when your next podcast episode coming at, all the information you want to give our viewers, let them know right now.
Okay. So the podcast is the Pum Pum Chronicles. It's streaming on any platform where podcasts are found: Apple iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so on. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at the Pum Pum Chronicles Pod. My personal page, where my OnlyFans is, and some other stuff, is badass_Jones_. And the easiest way to get in contact with me probably would either be through my DMs, or if you want to email me, it's all the same name, the Pum Pum Chronicles at gmail.com. And I drop a new episode every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, Timo, let the people know where they can find you at.
Y'all already know, man. Y'all can follow me at @OffTheTop_media. Y'all already know. I'm gonna give y'all this content. Give y'all something to think about. Keep throwing topics at y'all. Y'all already know how I'm gonna come in at y'all. We definitely appreciate you coming on, Miss AJ.
Let them know how that wine was before you go, Timo.
The red wine. Was it Black Girl Magic? Did it taste magical? Did it taste like a black girl?
Black Girl Magic. Nah, this one was alright. It definitely was alright. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I usually I'm able to finish it. This shit was right because I still got a lot left. I'm usually crushing these bottles, but I have to sit this slow.
That's good. That's good, Timor. But yeah, like I said, for me, y'all already know. It's Noble Noah. Follow me on IG at Noble_Noah. Like I said, we're gonna keep the content coming for y'all. We bought another lit Saturday show for y'all. We appreciate AJ coming on. We appreciate all the viewers in the comments, keeping the show interesting and everything for us. And like I said, come back next week. We're gonna have us a new guest. We're gonna do it all over again. Go ahead, Button, and go ahead out.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe.
Thanks.
You already know.
Hit that like button, subscribe. It ain't gonna hurt you, ain't gonna cost you a thing. But with that being said, it's been another great show, y'all. We appreciate our guest AJ Badass for coming on. And we had a grown conversation that sometimes might end with a hug. It's me, host Butter, Noble Noah, and T-Mo. It's all love. Man, until next time, man, we'll see y'all next week with another guest.
All right.
You already know, man.